Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a version of the Bremont ALT1-C. This is one of the core models for Bremont watches of Britain. Assembled, regulated, and designed in the Greater London area. The watch represents the return of British watchmaking in the modern era, and this aviation-inspired chronograph features a lot of the staple design elements of Bremont as a company. Now you can see it's large, 43 millimeters in diameter. It is 16.2 millimeters thick. From lug tip to lug tip, it is 49.4 millimeters, but if you include the solid end links to the bracelet, it is far larger, 56 millimeters across the wrist, with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference, and you'll get a good sense of it. It's broad, it's large. I actually would not wear this watch on a wrist any smaller than mine. I think we're just about at the limit. You can see the lugs near the edge of my wrist. Down the barrel, I'll let you be the judge, but I do think even a 15 centimeter circumference wrist would be dwarfed by this watch. The timepiece, however, imparts a satisfying sense of solidity and quality. It feels all of a piece the way a Rolex or an Omega full bracelet sports watch would. Now, taking a look at that bracelet, let's do a quick cuff shot just so you can see how the watch would fit underneath the cuff. In short, not well. It's a pretty thick watch. But the bracelet is a handsome three-link design, overtly sporting with staggered alignment, satin on the top, and as you can see, polish on the sides, removable links fixed by screws. You can see there's a half link built in. We have a single fold deployant clasp, and the metal for the folding components, as well as the clasp body, really thick gauge. It's a click shut with twin trigger release, so you have to press both triggers to open it up. It can't pop open accidentally. You can see the Bremont propeller logo. Bremont, the name of a farmer in whose field the founding brothers of this brand once emergency landed their vintage aircraft. So the name is French, and properly speaking it would be Bremont, but we call it Bremont because, after all, it is a British brand. The watch has two little divots inside of the clasp, and so you can use your strap tool to micrometrically change the sizing by altering the anchoring point of the bracelet. And you can see just more removable links fixed by screws. From the underside, you can see there are actually well-engineered gaps in the links to avoid pinching skin or pulling wrist hair. The end links of the bracelet do extend it dramatically across the wrist. 56 millimeters lug-to-lug is no joke, so you do need a big wrist for this watch. The mid case is black PVD, and it's actually a hard DLC coating, diamond-like carbon, to resist scratches. You can see the lugs are broken out from the case band, so visibly and sculpturally they are separate. It gives the case a distinctive profile that's not really shared with anything else in the industry. We have shouldered chronograph pushers in high polish, and then the Bremont logo, the propeller, on a lacquered cap outboard of the crown. All of this with 100-meter water resistance. Now, I should mention, Bremont uses a hardened steel. So the steel here is going to be exceptionally hard for a few microns across its surface. The hybrid of the surface and the softer metal under it comes out to about 400 Vickers, even though Bremont claims 1,800 to 2,000. Reality is about 400 Vickers, but that's fine because standard 316 and 904L steel is only about 250 Vickers, so the hardening does give you benefits in terms of scratch and scuff resistance compared to standard steel. We have a ray-hot outboard that's silver on black or white on black for easier distinction of minutes as well as chronograph seconds. The dial center is silver white with a opaline or matte finish. And then we have these lovely rhodium-plated steel indices and rhodium-plated steel leaf-style hands, a relatively delicate dress watch touch that I would not have expected on such a committed sports watch. We have a crosshair sub-register with red 60 for constant seconds, a 30-minute register for the chronograph minutes, central chronograph seconds. We have a date down at 6 o'clock. The watch is a certified chronometer, and we have two subsidiary setting modes, as you can see. One of them is hacking seconds, and then the other is a quick set system so you can rapidly cycle the date. Flip it all over and you can see the movement that provides the motive force. Now the watch has a Valjoux 7750, or I should say ETA, 7750. Valjoux and before that Venus created this chronograph architecture. But the important thing here is that it is a real ETA 7750. It is a chronometer grade 7750, not a Concepto, not a Sellita SW500. This is the real thing, and that counts for something. Unidirectional winding, it beats away at 4 Hertz, pivots on 25 joules. It has a 42-hour power reserve, and again, it is a chronometer certified and adjusted in 5 positions. The finish is custom for Bremont, especially the engine turning across the bridges, the blued screws, and the custom rotor. And it is a machine-finished but handsomely executed movement. So there's a lot to love about this watch. It's not a hugely committed pilot's watch design, so it doesn't look like you're wearing a flight deck on your wrist. It's a little bit more versatile than that. This is a watch that a big wrist can wear with formal attire or in a sporting situation, such as at the beach or in the pool or even in the cockpit. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.